Let's go! Week 5. I decided to do this early. Why not, right? Today was an awesome day. I just got back, I don't know, a couple hours ago from seeing Star Wars the second time. And it was awesome. If you haven't seen it, go see it because it's sick. The only thing that sucks is the very end is the worst cliffhanger in history. Even Empire Strikes Back didn't do that. Even Empire Strikes Back kind of cleaned itself up nicely. But, you know, another, I don't know, 18 months until we get to see what happens next. It's a bit too long. But anyway, so, yeah, before that, today was just an awesome day. I showed a first property, a real estate property. That was pretty cool, right? First things are great. Trained a bunch of people. We threw some balls, we jumped around, we lifted some weights, got some sweat happening. Yeah. So what else has been going on? Snow. Snow's terrible, right? But apparently there's a 60-degree day next week, and most of the snow's melted off the ground, which is fantastic because I hate snow more than just about anything. And you know, I think it's pretty funny. I was talking to a friend of mine earlier today about how people just think you're nuts for riding your bike in the winter. Philly is the most bikeable city I could possibly imagine. People talk about Amsterdam, how bikeable Amsterdam is, or you know, a lot of these European cities. But you know, I live in one corner of Philadelphia, and I bike to the other corner, and it takes me 30 minutes, no problem. And you know, it feels fantastic being able to move my body, and you know, not have to, you know, bitch and complain like, oh, I gotta go work out or something silly like that. You just hop on a bike and go. Just something you gotta do. You know, I feel pretty safe on a bike too. You know, no one gets mugged on a bike. But walking around streets late at night, you know, it gets a little dicey. Yeah, on that same note, so one of the things that you know, I was talking to someone earlier today about the idea of stress and how, you know, I mentioned in a previous video before asking the right questions. So instead of, you know, looking for certain pieces of knowledge, asking better questions is going to lead you to the better answers. And so I was talking to some people today about, you know, working out and all this stuff, and they were asking about, you know, how do you use this machine and what's the best exercise for this? And it really comes down to what creates stress. How do you create stress more? A friend/client of mine was asking me, you know, I love this one exercise, I love lunges, and then I decided to hold the dumbbells in a weird way just to make it harder, and I told him, you know, adding stress and removing stability are two different things. And then I went on to kind of demonstrate, so I, you know, told him to throw his hand up, and I pushed against his hand when he had both feet down, and then I told him to do the same thing and remove stability, so just standing on one leg, and I told him, you know, which felt stronger. And so he's obviously a lot stronger when he has the feet on the ground, where he has more stability. The more stability you have, the more stress you can induce. The more stress you can induce, the greater a training effect. So if you're doing things in your training that reduce stability, you're most likely losing out on a training effect, killing the whole purpose of everything. That's not to say that stability training is not also sometimes beneficial, because if you can't be stable in the first place, you can't create adequate stress in the first place. But if you're plenty stable, you're choosing exercises where you're, you know, they make you stable, then you are in a good position to produce lots and lots of stress. And with my last 10 seconds, what do I tell people who are kind of hard at buying into, like, why is stress important? I don't want to stress myself. Check this out. The more the more voluntary stress that you impose upon yourself now, the more resilient, robust you will be against involuntary stress when it happens later. And 10 seconds over, I'm out. See you next week.